Hello and welcome everyone. This is Professor Christopher Peralta and I feel very honored to be presenting the following article report titled Beyond Linguistic Features, Exploring Behavioral and Affective Correlates of Comprehensible Second Language Speech by the authors Charles Nigel, Pavel Trofimovich, Mary Graham O'Brien, and Sarah Kennedy from diverse universities in the United States. Their article will be presented by the expert linguistics Derlin Santana, Delcida Marte, Max Carrier, and your server Christopher Peralta. Hope you enjoy. It's a known well fact that in order to engage in a successful conversation, the speaker must convey their message in a way that the listener can understand, according to Nagel 2020. Two socioaffective and behavioral components of communication that might have relevance to comprehensibility are the interlocutor's anxiety and engagement. Anxiety is defined as a person's negative emotional reaction experienced in a situation in which the language is used, and the person has low levels of language achievement. This article goes deep into how comprehensibility or ease of understanding has been considered as an important factor in second language when it comes to speaking or having a successful and reciprocal communication. Many studies have only focused on the linguistic part of this factor. However, the goal of this study is to examine how anxiety and collaborativeness can cause an effect in the interlocutor's perception and comprehensibility of a message. In this report, you will be able to see data analysis and the result that the authors performed on 40 males and females who evaluated each other's comprehensibility on different tasks. With no further ado, let's welcome Professor Derlin Santana, who will give you more details and will go deeper into this study.
Thank you very much, Christopher. The interaction data came from a compilation of conversation between 40 second language university students at an English medium university in Canada in an explanatory type study. These speakers, who represented 17 different ethno-linguistic backgrounds, began learning English around the age of 8 in their home countries, and studying in a university, they reported substantial use of English. As a part of the university admission requirements, the speaker reported 9 points in the foreign language evaluation, which after being tested for validation, the speaker's performance was around 7 for speaking and 8 for listening, which corresponds to the C1 level in the European Framework of Reference for Languages. To encourage the use of English, the 40 speakers were randomly assigned to 20 pairs. Making sure these pairs came from different backgrounds, the compilation included 3 tasks per pair. In the first one, they had to discover 3 things they had in common. For the second, they had to develop a coherent shared narrative using a set of 14 scrambled pictures randomly distributed among them too, and they were not allowed to see one another's images. For the final task, they had to share some challenges they had as international students adjusting to a new academic environment and provide solutions for these challenges. The first task lasted 3 minutes, and the remaining 2 lasted 7 minutes each. During the interaction after every task, each speaker used a paper booklet to record ratings for comprehensibility, anxiety, and collaborativeness. The speakers in each pair participated in an audio-recorded session. They were randomly seated at opposite sides of a table, with a barrier between them two to prevent them from seeing one another's material, but allowing the view of gestures and facial expressions. They completed a background questionnaire, and then a research assistant defined each rated dimension and explained how to use the rating booklet. They were told instructions, time for every task, and had a moment to summarize the instructions to the research assistant as a comprehension check.
Hi. Hello. I'm going to highlight some important information about the data analysis that the authors describe in this research. About the target measures and covariates, the authors use the scale definition and layout to measure the speaker's ratings of their partner's comprehensibility. These ratings were recorded per speaker at the 7 rating episodes and expressed data numerically by measuring the distance with a ruler, a 100mm scale. About the statistical modeling, the authors used mixed effects modules to estimate relationships between anxiety and collaborativeness, and then with comprehensibility. General results. According to this data, in task number 1, where they had to find some similarities between them, the more collaborativeness speakers considered themselves and their partners to be, the less anxiety they perceived. During task number 2, where the speakers worked with separate images to narrate a story together, they gave low ratings for collaborativeness while indicating that they were relatively anxious. In contrast, in task number 3, where the speakers discussed potential solutions to common challenges faced by international students, showed the opposite pattern, with high collaborativeness coinciding with low anxiety. In summary, modeling demonstrated that speakers' perception on their partner's comprehensibility was associated with their perception of their partner's collaborativeness and anxiety. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Max speaking. In this part of this section, I will be guiding you on the discussion that are being made in order to come up with the discussion. Coming with the result of the analysis of this article has been the subject of much debate and subjective discussion about the ease or difficulty with which the information has been processed and cataloged. In 2017, Weber and Greenfelder, Processing Fluency in Education, showed how methodological failing shape learning. The article reviews and integrates empirical evidence on processing fluency that is relevant to school education. The effect of processing fluency were reviewed in 3 broad areas. First of all, metacognition in learning, belief formation, and finally, affect. On the same year, a study conducted with 20 native speakers used listener judgment to investigate linguistic influences on second language comprehensibility and accentedness. The results showed that comprehensibility was associated with several linguistic variables, whereas accentedness was linked to pronunciation. In 2019, a study was made by Taymori on second language anxiety achievement to examine their relationship. This study provides firm evidence for both the native role of second language anxiety in second language learning and the moderating effect of a number of non-linguistic variables. Since the exploration of the study showed great impact on the specific field, they should be addressed to an area where it is acceptable to the intervention of the classroom teacher in the Dominican Republic. That is, the atmosphere provided for student communication. This finding would show the dynamic nature of how language learning should be acquired in our schools and universities, and therefore help us having a better plan to rescue the Dominican system.